Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Putri Veronica. My NPM is 2241140 from Management Class 22A. Here I will explain about interview. An interview is a conversation between two or more people that takes place between a search and an interviewer with the aim of collecting data in the form of information. Therefore, interview techniques are one way of collecting data. For example, for certain research, referring to the KBBI or Big Indonesian Dictionary, an interview is a question and answer session with someone or an official and so on to ask for information or opinions about something published in a newspaper, broadcast via radio, or shown on a television screen. Interview activities can be carried out for various purposes and by one such as journalists, job seekers, research, and so on. Objective. From the definition of the interview above, of course, you already have an idea of the purpose of the interview, right? Yes, the purpose of an interview is to obtain data or information from the source. More specifically, according to the purpose of the interview is as follows. 1. Obtaining information directly to explain a particular things or situation and condition. 2. Obtaining data in order to influence a particular situation or person. 3. Complete a scientific investigation. Referring to this objective, it can be interpreted that the function of an interview is to obtain information and data accurately, in-depth, objectively, as well as to complement the interview initial information. Apart from that, interviews also allow new perspectives to emerge on the topics raised. Types of interview. In general, based on how it is carried out, interviews are divided into three types, namely 1. Structured interview. The first type of interview is a structured or guided interview, where all the questions to be asked have been prepared in detail and completely. 2. Unstructured interviews. As the name suggests, unstructured interview are the opposite of structured interview where the questions asked are open-ended. This type is also usually called a free interview because the interviewer can ask the search anything. However, what needs to be noted is that these questions remain relevant to the data requirements so that the interview can still be controlled. 3. Free guided interview. The final type of interview is a free guided interview, which is a combination of the two previous types of interview, where the interviewer still prepares the question to be asked but only in the outline. Interview form. Apart from being divided into several types, interviews also have various forms. More specifically, the forms of interview are as follows. 1. Formal interview. First, there is a form of formal interview, namely an interview which is carried out formally or systematically to obtain certain data. An example of this form of interview is a research interview. 2. Regular interview. The next form is routine interview, namely interviews conducted regularly aimed at supporting the smooth running of business or company activities or operation, for example, monthly evaluation of employee performance. 3. Press conference interview. A press conference interview is when journalists are invited by certain parties to cover certain information or data so that it is published and disseminated. For example, a company is launching a new product, collaborating with other parties, holding a charity event, etc. 4. Press access interview. Almost the same a press conference interview, but for press access interview the scope is even smaller, such as the result of meeting, negotiation, etc. 5. Roundtable interview. Roundtable interview are a form of interview that is quite complex in which the interviewer must develop strategies and scenarios first so that the interview process can run smoothly. In this case, the interviewer acts as a moderator for several search. So, not only asking and recording answer, the interview is also tasked with managing the course of the conversation. 6. Semi-structured interview. The final form of interview is the semi-structured or biographical interview. As the same as the name suggests, the interview is aimed at gathering information as material for biographical writing from related sources. Generally, the interview will ask a question sequentially according to the interview's life cycle, such as starting from childhood, adult science, and to current life. Interview stage. The conduct an interview. There are at least two stages that must be carried out. The interview stage include 1. Preparation phase. In the interview preparation stage, determine the purpose or topic and what information you want to explore during the interview first. If you are conducting a structured interview, then also prepare a list of questions to ask the interviewer later. After that, you should also contact the search first and determine the schedule for the interview along with other technical matters. 2. Implementation stage. The second stage of the interview is implementation. As a good interviewer. Open the interview session with a greeting and make sure you also prioritize manners. After that, you can briefly explain the purpose of the interview and start asking questions. Record or note the research person's answer careful. Avoid asking the research person to repeat his answer. So, before ending the interview, you can also ask permission to contact the source again if there is information that needs to be confirmed or complete. Interview tips. So, that the implementation runs smoothly and as desired, there are several interview tips that you need to pay attention. 1. Start with factual information and ask easy questions. 2. Make sure you know basic information about the search, such as their general identity. 3. Avoid asking personal and optional questions. 4. Don't be too stiff and show a friendly attitude so that the research person is comfortable and can answer questions well and openly. 5. Avoid a patronizing attitude. Be neutral and adaptive. That's all I can say. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.